Hey y'all, I have been waiting for you. Where you been? Thank you for being here, and I feel excited, ecstatic, and just hmm, I think anxious is the right description of how I feel because I just want to be here and to give love, share love, see what unfolds. I'm loving the decision that I made to drop it all and just come from the heart. And however this evolves, whatever it turns into, it is what it is. And I'm just being here now, right here in this moment, just enjoying everything that I'm experiencing. So, once again, thank you for being here. I'm excited because I'm going to share with you all. Um, I think a tribute is the right word for my father. He is going to be 90 tomorrow. And I thought it was appropriate to kind of intermingle, celebration of my dad and some of the learnings that were critical in my dark night, as well as, you know, um, emerging from the ashes. And a big part of that came through my dad. And I didn't realize that he would be a huge conduit to this journey. So I want to share that with y'all. There's some other things, if we have time, update around my cardiac rehabilitation, continuing to go. And once again, it's funny how when things shift in your schedule, right? Because when, God said drop everything on the 21st, I cleared my calendar. And that was able to help me schedule 3 days a week, in the morning, 6:30 in the morning until I get home probably around 10:30. Uh, that's my day is scheduled around that. And and not having to keep up with the production of a podcast and a channel and social media and other things I've been invited to do. When I got that message, it was just a relief. Ton of bricks came off, y'all. It was amazing. So I'm easing into this and I'm really enjoying it. So anyhow, my dad. Oh, I feel a little funny because I'm thinking, okay, he's alive, and I, I don't want to talk about him. However, I think I feel good that I'm able to share some of the beauty that I discovered in my pops, and then seeing myself in him, and seeing how important it was for me to accept him. Then in turn, that would trickle down to me. So it's been a pretty intense discovery. Um, it all happened when I came back from Mexico. Um, my buddy Eddie would be upset that I'd say Mexico. So when I came back from Mexico, and I'm like, okay, this is my resting place for now. Um, I never forget, we unloaded everything from Eddie's Denali, and I had to say Denali, huh? I couldn't say truck. I had to say Denali. I'm silly. Anyway, everything was in the house, and my dad is like, he's a servant. He's always been a servant. He goes, no, take a seat, take a seat. And then I felt like arms around me, and he came down and hugged me, which he don't do that a lot. I can't even remember initiating something like that. And he goes, I'm going to take care of you because you're my son. I about lost it. And then we sat down and we had an incredible conversation, which I was really surprising to me. My father adopted my older siblings. So my mom had 10 kids. I'm the youngest living. and all of my siblings, older than I, had a different birth father. They didn't know their father that well, so my dad has been know their father from when they were younger. He adopted them, gave them his last name, and cared for them in many ways. He's always been, like I said, a servant. He took care of my mom like, oh, my mom, little feisty Islander Tita. We call her Tita baby. Maria was her name. And you didn't mess with her. And everybody in the family knew. I mean, extended family. She was the oldest of her generation. And in this culture that I was birthed into, there are certain customs and things that I learned along the way that in my later years, I see and I understand where they come from. But I start to think, I'm not sure if I agree, to it. So I'll honor it by, I don't want to bash it. Anyhow, circling back. Um, yeah, so my dad took care of all of us. He served, 20 years in the military and then another 20 years at National Steel here in San Diego. And in between, my mom had her own business and he would help there. My mom had a bus tour company, and they would go to Vegas all the time. And he did everything all the time. And he's doing an incredible job taking care of me right now. He's for 90, he gets around, and I'm just in awe of his ability to um do what he does. Yeah, this is gonna get deep. So hold on. um Recently I asked my dad, he was taking me somewhere and the vehicle, and I looked over to him and I said, Dad, how did you get along with your siblings? I didn't know that part of the family. I had never met my grandparents, his parents, and maybe one uncle, and he had 8 in his family. So, and he's the only one who has survived everyone. And he said, "Well, I didn't, I didn't grow up with them." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, your Tata Nana sent me to Guam to take care of my auntie when I was 9." I said, "Just you?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" And he goes, I don't know. I just did what I was told." I said, you know, uh, did you like see your siblings?" And he said, "Well, they visited, they come over to Guam and go back home." And I started to put things together. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I see my dad very meek, very subservient, and humble. And he walks in unworthiness. I see where I got the pleaser. I see parts of him that are me and I don't like. So I remember sitting on my bed here and I got that, God saying, when you love that man completely, you will love you completely. Ooh. So part of what I learned in this hero's journey, this shadow work, is that the key parts of the transformation come when I can sit in the shit sit in the pain, almost abide for a little bit in it all without walking away, without turning around, and getting the full effect of what all that emotion pent up, like anger and like fear and all the things together. And excuse me, and get to a point where you can say, that's me. That is a part of who I am. And so when I said a prayer, God, let me see me as you see me. My friend Suzanne said that, and I've heard that a lot, but when she said it, she had the emphasis, and she didn't know she did, on the front end, which was, God, let me see me as you see me. And I thought, that's interesting. Why is it important for me to see me the way he sees me? And I'm like, that's the key. What do I think he sees? Right. So I'm thinking all of these like acts of betrayal or bad decisions or things that were all the gamut, right? We all have it. And he also sees, the big hearted, the serving, the, helping part of me. And I think that he sees the actual like acts, the things that I actually did, this, they're watching it all. And I thought, hold on. If I could in just a moment know that God, source, oh, the all in all, the all knowing, all merciful, mm, Elohim, Yahweh, um, Jehovah Jireh, and all of the names that can't even describe its bigness. And yes, I said it. I identify and it endures me to have this relationship with a father. So, as growing up in Catholicism and as a Christian, later being born again when I was 14, I'm okay with that. I know the difference in terms of doctrine. And I also see the many elements within this universe that all fit into this big cosmic, like it's incredible. And the more that I experience that, the more I say, I sound cuckoo. I sound woo, 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 woo. I mean, but people who have experienced going through their pain and really allowing themselves to like see the healing calm, they get the language. They understand how cray cray that sounds, how like stupid, how off the, So it's good to be here and be that, whatever that is, right? Um, so my dad, when you know he's 90, he wants to feel good. He wants to have fun, and I think we're also protective of him. I can feel his frustration of like just want to live, And here I am trying to give him a lesson in consciousness. It's like, okay, Dad, like, did you know? You don't need to know. Like, get down from your high horse, boy. Love this man. There's nothing to change. He don't have to change anything. He didn't have to learn anything. And in that natural non-attachment or trying to come up with what my role is and what his role is and all that bull crap, I get to be in the moment. And when I am moved by the spirit to ask or say something, I do. It's that simple. My wound came in the form of no one will want me. It's a worthiness issue. Am I worthy? And you guys, you guys don't. I'm the generational breaker right here. You see, I mean, hello? I am so worthy. That is not passing down to my lineage. It is not getting passed down at all. Because I tell y'all, as parents, the greatest gift that you can give your kids is your healing. Yeah. Happy birthday, Dad. We're going to celebrate him tomorrow. I was going to make him like a ribeye roast and all of the tomorrow staples, red rice, potato salad. And I was like, and all these things, right? And then my brother was like, "Hey, let's go to this Mexican restaurant in Claremont. That is, I had never heard of it, and so he had taken us there one time. I'm like, I'm home. This is good. So we'll probably head up there and celebrate him. But I'll get up in the morning and make him his favorite French toast. Just make him feel appreciated and loved and accepted. You know, we played this little game, my dad and I. I'm like, "Hey, Pop, you want me to make you anything for breakfast?" "Oh, no, 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 Joe. No, I have my coffee already, and I had that little bit of that cake." "That's your breakfast?" I said, "I'll be glad to make you something." I said, "You want some like bacon, eggs, and of course there's rice in the house." And no, 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 no. It's okay. Are you hungry? Not really, but I'd be glad to make it. And he goes, "Oh no, I'm okay." But as soon as I say I'm hungry, he's like, "Okay, okay, if you want to." So I did give him a little lecture. I talked to him about worthiness and said, "You're worthy to ask. Hey, son, can you make me some sausage fried rice? Because I hook it up. Okay. Can you make some French toast? And I really like bananas and raspberries and blueberries. And can I have a little bit of syrup and jelly?" He would never do that. Hmm. So as I'm thinking, I am supposed to launch this like great movement of love. I got schooled that the greatest movement of love is in my world. And as this is healed, how I see the world is healed. I have a friend, Kimmy, and I remember her telling me one time, I think it's about just like healing, just like my world. I mean, I think she said that. And it's funny how it's come in full circle to see that that's it. It's the war inside of us that we see the war out there. Because when we know who you are, we are. I mean, our lens changes, right? So, you guys, this idea of freedom and yes, the work is never finished, but I got off the court. I got out of the arena. Now I'm starting to integrate. And the integration comes in relationships and in my business. Well, if I had a business, in entrepreneurs, that's where it's going to come up. Our shadows, our hurts, our pains, all the lack that we have, it's going to show up in one of those two things. So when those things are happening, for us, conflict, hurt, pain. I am so conditioned now, right? To feel it first, identify what it is, and let it go through. It's gone. Not going to affect my body long term anymore. And then I like to look at the perspectives of putting myself in the other person's shoes. Where is the mirror? What am I saying about it? Is it really true? Now, as weird as that may sound, I'm willing to be the weird to get to a place like this. Mm, mm. Yeah. So happy birthday, Pop. We'll celebrate you tomorrow and always. You're going to live for a long time. And I'm honored to be your son. And I'm so glad that I chose you as my dad. I'm worthy to have a dad like him, and he's worthy to have a son like me. I really, really love that. Um, Another thing I'm going to share is I'm emotional. You can tell it's in my consciousness because I always bring it up. And there are some of my closest friends who are like, dude, like, watch the emotions, just as long as you keep the emotions down. And because there's many times I hold people in high esteem, I take it in and I contemplate it. Contemplation for me is if I don't have the answers on the onset, then I'm going to like sit with that and contemplate, which is allow the mind and the heart to do its work on its own without me getting in the way. It helps many times. Um, cannabis has been a good friend of mine, and it brings a lot of clarity when I meditate and I take a little. Yeah. Plant medicine is incredible. I really wish that I was able to explore some other types of plant medicine, but because of my heart condition, I'm not allowed to. I have been wanting to do breath work for quite some time because I know that you can reach elevated states with that deep breath work, but it's scary. Have y'all seen some of the breath work videos? I'm like, oh, all the demons come out. It's funny. All right, so I'm rambling now, and I just want to thank you for allowing me to honor my pops, um, share along the way in that honoring what were some of my experiences that helped me to get to this point of I'm crossed the line. The victim in me, no longer takes front and center. Mm. The gift in me is front and center. As I continue to exercise it, just let it come forth and do it in its most imperfect way. I'm just inviting in abundance, abundance of love, abundance of wisdom, abundance of giving, provision, everything. Mm, mm. Mm-mm-mm. Anyhow, so I know that over the last couple of videos, I've said I want to go live and maybe have interaction. I will do that, but I don't want to go and be in a rush. Your feedback would be incredible. So if you would take just a little bit of time to just provide, hey, talk about this, or I noticed this, I would really appreciate that. If you're going to be mean about anything, go ahead and put it. And I know how to delete. Okay. No, I'm kidding. It's cool. Last thing I'll say is I'm at this point where whatever reflection I'm getting from anybody else, I just say thank you because I know who I am. It's really super simple. And that's why I love the adage, we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. So, in something I've done or said that someone would say, "That was beautiful." And someone will say, "That was so wimpy. He's a joke." And someone says, "Do more." What happened? I just spoke. They were the meaning makers. I don't have to be that anymore. It's continued practice, but mm, just think. Much love to you guys, and yeah, have a great weekend.